Okay, so this is our first episode of MiniFridge, which is essentially we're going to take one person's illustration that has been sent to us, and we want to stress that we did not find random people on the internet to make fun of their artwork. These are people who sent stuff to us. $20 if we get a comment like that. People that sent stuff to us to have critiqued, and under the same pretense that it's free, it's fair game. Like, we're not supposed to hold back, we're not supposed to treat it differently. We are supposed to be slightly more actual teaching to show what they can do better, which
we will critique it, and we will give advice as per... Really? Really, cats?
I have a button blank, like a stamper, and the cat has just found that it has like a tin piece on the one side, so now he has... Are you trying to bite on the steel?
Do it.
Hey! Don't bite the steel! For fuck's sake, kid. Anyway, so yeah, these have been things sent to us, and we're just going to do one. So these are intended to be short. Mm-hmm. Shorter. Like 15, 20 minutes, maybe.
Yeah.
So here's our first one. Kristen has given an enthusiastic thumbs up as she drank her coffee.
Yep.
So this was by Cameron K.
Purple
Lemons.
Yeah.
There we go. Cameron K. Purple Lemons on Tumblr, and I'll probably link their Tumblr. It's probably a decent thing to do.
Yeah.
Because they have a lot of really interesting stuff. They sent us a few different illustrations, and we'll probably at least do two of them. One of them is sort of really like there's not a lot to it and stuff, so we probably won't do that one. But this is the one I chose today. It has a name. I guess it's called Awake and Alive. But yeah, so, we're obviously not laughing at it because it's not bad.
Yeah, no, that's always a good sign if we're not like, oh my god, that's so bad. No, it's definitely, like, honestly, like, when we were looking at this one, like, I was, you can definitely tell, Cameron does spend a lot of time and tries different things, which is always really good. Like,
yeah, it has, I've had people, when I've gotten critiques and stuff from art directors in the past, like, the WotC people, the last time I got it, they stressed a lot, like, you wanted to have, like, you want your picture to look like it has different brushes used with it. You don't want to have an image where it looks like it's just the same brush throughout. And, actually, I think some of this, it does sort of look like maybe one, maybe two brushes. Like, I think the sort of the Fire Beast hair part, was either one brush, like sort of like a wispy brush, and then the rest of it looks like it was painted with like a large...
Like fuzzy brush?
Yeah.
Like an airbrush, sort of, I guess?
Not exactly like an airbrush. It just looks like sort of like not gradient, like a texture, but like a really fuzzy texture.
Yeah.
I would assume for that.
So, yeah, my critique of the flames would be to actually look at flames.
Yeah.
Because they're very... Like, the flames as they are, one, are very dull. There's not... And fire, believe it or not, has a lot of, like, really dark pieces to it, too. Like, when you basically, like... If it's lighting up something, and there's something dark behind it, you almost always, through the flame at some point, will see some dark. There's always some smoke or something.
Right. Yeah.
You can add a lot of color and a lot of interesting things to the flame.
I would also look into using, like you said, color. I would look into putting, like, more shades of red and more shades of yellow, like, different shades.
Yeah.
Like, you can have a fantasy fire that looks like fire and also use, like, some not quite fire colors, but, I mean, you can find plenty of variously colored fires, depending on what is actually burning in them. So that might be something to look into as well, because right now it's sort of like that bright orange... It's sort of like a clown orange, I guess.
To me, it looks like a troll doll.
Like troll hair. It looks like troll.
So it looks to me like blurry troll hair. Like, also, like, I don't know if it's like a... Like, it looks like it there's fire in the background, but fire doesn't get super dark like that. So I'm not sure if that's like right behind, like, the sweep.
Yeah, you can tell there's, like, a shadow or something on the one side here, and that...
Yeah, but there's, like...
That makes it look less
brown...
like fire and more like scarves. Like wispy scarves all tied together.
Yeah, and if it is like wispy scarves, you just have to make it like really obvious. Well, I mean, if it was, if you
I would honestly look at like a flamethrower. A flamethrower has a lot of really good fire motion and stuff.
Although the problem with the flamethrower is a lot of them are liquid, so a lot of it will be.
Yeah, like, I understand, but
I usually look at like gasoline explosions.
Gasoline explosions are another good one.
The fire is really massive, and especially
I'm not trying to do like massive in color with fire. I'm trying to do something that has motion to it.
Oh, okay.
So that's why I like.
Oh yeah, flamethrower.
Flamethrowers, like you can still sort of put like a solid core or some sort of solid bits in there, but it'll still look like fire. Mm-hmm. And I would definitely diversify the color of the fire quite a bit because it's very dull right now.
Yeah.
The other thing I saw off the bat was this arm, and the lack of this arm on the other side.
Yeah.
Which, like from the shoulder to the elbow is very long. It tends to be on most people, and I'm not a good example of this because this goes to my fucking hip bone, which it should not. It tends to go to the bottom of your rib cage, as the max of where your...
Yeah, because I guess your hands rest about where your butt is, usually, right?
Well, for normal people, they do. Let me see. Yeah, mine are near my knees, which is weird.
Where are they with mine? I guess right at my butt.
Right at pocket length.
Yeah.
Mine, I can just go to like my leg pockets and get in there.
You have to wear an especially long skirt for school.
I did not. That was really annoying that we had that. Like, it had to go to your fingertips. I'm like, that is by my knees. It was weird.
Yeah. Well, don't dress like a hoe then.
I didn't ask for these given us qualities. I was just given them. So I would say like the arm. It has a very long shoulder to elbow arm. I think the forearm from elbow to hand or elbow to wrist is a decent size.
Yeah.
Like, I don't really know how far. No, it's a fairly decent size. The other thing are the fingers run deep. They're very long fingers, and especially like if you look at like your middle, it's sort of like an arch. All right, like from your pointer finger down to your pinky finger, it's an arch upwards. So like your middle finger and your ring finger tend to be like a little bit farther forwards. And with this, they're just all ooh.
Good old
they're all
tumbler.
just hanging out on the same, and that especially that middle one is real deep, real gosh dang deep.
Well, sometimes, like if you look at my hand, it's not that much deeper.
No, what I'm saying is like this one goes up, and then there's just a really big crevasse here.
Oh yeah, no, there is a crevasse where there shouldn't be, but
so it leads to a lot of fingers. Like you got what's the thing is like the length of your fingers is the same length as your palm.
Oh, I don't even know. I just kind of ignored that in school. So I had giant monster hands.
It's like, for as long as your fingers are, there should be about that same length. More or less. Certain people have shorter fingers, certain people have longer palms, etc. But more or less, it's about the same length. So length of fingers is about the same length there. And that might be a little bit better to help you with that. Concept, like...
I do like the characters' like colors and design. Like I think it has the potential to be really awesome. Like I
did just notice the characters sort of coming straight out of the tree.
That's not a tree. I think it's a column. Because if you look, it's like underneath almost looks like a bridge or a roadway. Or
the
something.
character's coming straight out of the column. Like this whole picture is sort of tilted this way, tilted on like a 35-degree angle, up from the left. But then the character is coming up this way, which if you tilted everything back, should just be right on the face.
It looks to me like it's supposed to be like a worm's eye view, but the character doesn't lend to that at all.
Yeah, you can't tell. And it gets sort of hazy with, I guess these are legs down here?
I think he has like long coat, but it looks like basically he didn't want to have to draw the anatomy down there, which is the most difficult part. And it's not like it's bad or anything. It's just that I don't think the character's perspective matches the worm's eye view. It looks like you're trying to do with like the pot and the fire, and then of course the columns, and also the columns look pretty flat.
Yeah.
So
I thought they were trees.
Well,
that's about the same. But
I think they must be columns because look at the background. Like to me, that looks like underneath a bridge or something. Like it's a ruinous city.
It looks like some sort of ruins, but it's not enough context. That I also just looked at this like, what is this?
I don't know.
There's like a big scarf thing behind it that I'm not sure.
Fire? I don't think that could be.
I don't know.
Fire doesn't get shaded, and plus it hides some of the fire.
Right.
Or maybe the fire's coming out of the guy. So I guess there's not enough context to figure out why that's going on.
Yeah, like I would say this has a lot of like sort of what we were talking about with our last FridgeArt, which this will go out on Wednesday, so that would have been Saturday. And that, like, you're trying to best express yourself and your ideas. So a lot of times, like, the easiest way to do that is, like, to show all sides or most sides of something. So, like, with this fire thing, ideally, I guess the head of the troll dragon, would be sort of tilted up quite a bit more to go with that same perspective. Yeah. Because otherwise, it's sort of, like, curled over, but it's just, like, looking straight down at itself, like, hey, look at what I came from. But, and the same with the character, they're pitched very far forwards. So I would definitely, I guess the really teachery thing to say is just flip your canvas around.
Flipping a canvas is so useful.
It is extremely useful.
Like, I think I flip mine about every, like, 5 to 10 minutes when I'm painting, just because I screw up a lot while I'm painting, and I need to make sure I nip that in the bud. But also, like, it's, to me, the lighting isn't, you know, like, if you look at something like a...
It doesn't look like the fire's putting off any light.
Yeah,
like, there's some orange on the back here, and there's some orange at the bottom here.
But it's not very strong at all.
If this dragon was coming around, like, that orange would be really strong up on the pillar.
It basically... no, it almost seems like, there just needs to be more, like, context with the lighting. Like, it needs to bring it together. Like, honestly, I think the pot and stuff looks like the right perspective. Like, the little, like, leaf things.
This side of the pot, this left side of the pot is squished in a little bit.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
Like, this side from the... Yeah, thank you. This from, like, the middle and over, that's up a little bit as well. It looked like this whole lip of this pot could be sort of tilted up another 10 degrees or so. And that would be fairly on point with that. But yeah, it looks sort of squished on this one side. The other thing I was going to talk about, which is something I need to fix as well, is defining each one of your materials and things in here as the objects they're supposed to be. So things that are cloth have that sort of reflectiveness or sort of luminosity that cloth has, which is not much. Things that are metal have brighter luminosity and they reflect more. And as it stands right here, everything has about the same. Yeah. So things like the scarf here, they look like a sort of pressed metal, almost.
Yeah, like, there's really not any,
like, the cloth
like
has a little bit of...
Everything is lacquered, like, a certain way. Like, it's just kind of everything has, like, a dull sheen, and there's not, like, the metal isn't shiny. Like, his metal bits aren't, like, super shiny and stuff. Yeah. Like, and you can definitely push
like, I couldn't tell if that was supposed to be metal or if it was supposed to be stone.
Yeah, and plus, like, with the columns and stuff, like, I assume they're columns. Like, if they're palm trees, like, you know, you gotta look at a palm tree and figure out how to make the texture convincing, and for columns... I guess, like, sometimes the fluting of the columns make it more obvious. I know, like, some columns do not have fluting. Basically, you know,
We're talking about the ridges.
Yeah, the ridges.
Column.
I think that's called fluting. I'm not really sure.
Either way, just ridges in column. Yeah. Details to the column.
Basically, if you look at Roman ruins, a lot of their columns have fluting. And personally, that's how I identify something as a column. Gotcha. But it is very difficult to paint. So one thing you can do... you can use, like, a free 3D program, like, and I've done this before for especially difficult, like, perspectives and stuff. You can literally build it, like, in SketchUp, which is a Google thing. It's free.
Yeah, Google SketchUp is free, and
it helps so
I've heard
much.
People say that's very helpful. I've always had a pain in the ass. I didn't get very far in that program, and I got really fed up with it and just sort of gave up.
Yeah, but I don't do anything super complicated.
It's quite helpful.
Well, yeah, I mean, because basically you can put things in there to represent certain things, so you kind of know... Like, you know, like if you have, like, a column or something, you build, like, the road and stuff, that way it'll give you at least a little bit of context for or whatever, the ceiling or the temple or wherever you are. And also you can put ridges in it, like the circles, so you can tell, like, because, like, right now, like, we're looking at the columns straight on. Yeah. Even though it probably isn't supposed to, and they probably should have circles, at least, either matching the brassiere. Is that how you say it? Brassiere?
I've sort of lost what you're talking about.
Basically, the columns. You see how the, like, ridges, like, the sections of the columns are
it looks like
straight?
Crumbled ruins.
No, like the...
Oh, some of them are?
See the curve of the pot. And but if you look at the columns, the curve is completely different. Like, we're looking straight on at the columns.
Yeah, like it's tilted. No, I see what you're saying.
So those should definitely be curved very significantly. So...
He's sniffing my portfolio.
Like, that would be... I mean, that would be like a nitpick, and that's also something SketchUp would be able to help you with, because you'd be able to see that.
I think, like, the big thing for me is maybe color. Like, the use of color, right now it has a strong orange presence, and the green it's not quite there, so it doesn't really, like...
It's kind of minty, but not, like, intense enough to...
what am I trying to say? It's
the
like...
hue isn't quite right?
Yeah, the hue is off. Like, it might be worth it taking, like, a gradient map, and then just fucking with the colors.
Yeah, gradient maps are
and sort of switch it around to see... Because I could see if you put more of, like, a reddish tint, like a sort of hue in the dragon, and then you sort of upped... I don't want to say the contrast, but if you, like, up the brightness and a bit of the contrast with the green, then it could actually pop against each other. It could work with each other in a sort of color palette. Because right now, like, the main color is gray. And there's just, like, these other things that are sort of added in, and they look like they belong there, but if they were, like, slightly different, they wouldn't look like they were supposed to be in there. It would just look like a sort of, like, a color additive over the top of it.
Yeah.
Like...
Yeah, like, as is right now, the colors are a bit muddy.
Yeah.
Like, that's how I describe it. Like there are definite ways to... I think you have to click on it again or something, or open a new tab.
Yeah. Yeah, now we're zooming. I also wanted to talk about the face. And looking at this a bit closer, I can tell there's sort of like a pillow lighting. That's pillow lighting. Where it's just sort of like a hazy...
Yeah.
Yeah.
There isn't really a lot of definition. I'm not sure if this is like a thumbnail or something, because if it is...
I think this is fairly far along. They said they had to do some of these for a project. I think it was character designer, storyteller, illustrator, hoping to get an entertainment illustration fields of art. Hope you can give me a critique and image from one of the projects I've been working on for the last 2 months or so. The project is basically make characters, give them a story, and illustrate in 3 or 4 images. The project is supposed to tie into a bigger world, having different character stories in different regions, tie the world into a more solidified way for my own use. And then,
well, there you go.
He puts a summary. After losing his home to bandits under mysterious banner, Owan, name is a whip, seeks out a sacred artifact hidden in an ancient temple in the desert. The artifact is the soul of the dragon, sealed inside of a mask. Upon touching the mask, I'm going to say it says B awakens. He awakens the soul and discovers his own soul becomes bound to the mask. Now with the power that he's obtained, he seeks out to avenge those who erase his tribe from existence, which is pretty cool.
I'm glad it didn't become like Son of the Mask, where he just...
Well, this is the original mask, and then the Son of the Mask is what happens.
And then he puts on the mask, and then he becomes green, and becomes a sexy person.
And he just makes tons of references from the 90s.
And then the 90s happened a lot.
Does anybody remember Pogs? And then he just dances around and plays Zoot Suit Riot and Mambo No. 5, yeah. I would say on the face, it seems a little bit like... Thank you, He's literally standing on the top of his cat tree, meowing at the corner of the room. The fuck, cat? Don't do that. Why are you doing that? I would say with the wolf, like, it seems sort of skewed. It seems sort of pushed in and skewed right now.
The ear on her left looks a little, like, high,
I know what it is. This eye is really far out. The one on the right, like, the eye is migrating away. Because, like, this one, like, this eye is pretty much right next to this sort of, like, nose piece. And the other one, there's quite the distance between the two.
And it'd be easier to see if you flip it.
Yeah.
Like, basically, if you flip this, like, a lot of those things would be automatically kind of apparent. So, yeah. So, like, I guess, like...
I don't know if it's supposed to be, like, a plating or something on the inside of the wolf's, like, neck thing. Because it sort of looks like it has, like dragon scale plates. I think it just might be, like, various fur.
Yeah, it might just be layered fur. Also, like, the scarf has no folds on it whatsoever. It is completely...
that also leads it to looking like it's made of metal.
Yeah, like if there's... Like, folds are hard, but, I mean, honestly, scarves are okay. I mean, you know, they're not usually too bad, because you can literally look at... If you look at, like a Muslim woman, like, with the hijab, like, that's a really good way to look at a scarf.
Yeah, I would definitely look at a hijab for this.
And
I think one of my biggest problems with this might be that it's mostly shaded with black. I think that's it.
That also can add to it looking very muddy.
So what colors would you suggest other than black?
Whatever the opposite of the main color is.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I was thinking like maybe sort of blue. Like a sort of
like a gray blue or even a gray green might work really well, depending on the mood you want to give it.
Mm-hmm.
purple, gray purple might not be as good. But definitely gray blue or gray green.
Yeah, I would look into essentially just take the black that you have and just move it in, like inward and diagonal from the corner, just a little bit into that sort of blue range, and I think that would be a pretty decent color to use.
Yeah, and also the gradient map might help you a lot. Like
right.
if you basically play around with a gradient map, which is I guess it's if you go into Photoshop and open up. I guess it's in a little thing below all the layers, and it has like FX on it, or not FX. It looks like a little yin-yang symbol. Click on that. Do that.
I always call it the black and white cookie.
Black and white cookie. Okay, that's a good
Click
thing.
on the black and white cookie.
Yeah,
it will teach you everything you need to know. I guess the other thing just might be like his lips. Like they just sort of put me off. He sort of has like cat lips. Like he has like, like I want to say like ball lips, like cats do. Where he just has like a large pursed.
Like some dogs have that kind of face.
They do, but
and if it's like differently rendered, like it might. It might
just be that it just has like this open triangle that's put me off. Because I think I see teeth in them in there, and it's just. I think the other thing is if this nose is sort of at us but a little off to the side, we're seeing a lot of this other side of the face, and it's not like you wouldn't see any of it, but it's just like.
The muzzle might be a little longer if it's a dog or a canid, so maybe.
Well, it said it's a wolf in the thing.
Oh, really? Oh, yeah. Okay. So
I would honestly find references of wolves and definitely have that help you quite a bit.
The problem is, like, when people take pictures of wolves, and this is one thing I have issues with, is that a lot of them are done in overcast. So it's very hard to see the definition of the wolf's face.
Yeah.
So be aware that a lot of those images are overcast because wolves, or a lot of times whenever people take pictures of them, apparently they're in lands that are overcast. Try to find one with actual good lighting in it. They exist. They're just harder to find. So, just make sure to find that because it's a little easier to, like, see the definition of the wolf's face that way instead of just, like, wow, there's a lot of colors in the wolf's fur.
Yeah,
that doesn't help.
Like, I just realized that this has this sort of tail and stuff down here. I would consider, like, see how this says is sort of like these cool blues for the tail. I would take some of those blues on the white part of the tail, and I would put them, like, in sort of just on the inside of the shadows and stuff on the shirt and inside there and everything.
But I'd adjust the colors first.
Yeah,
because like the problem is like if you do, like as is right now, it's just very muddy.
It is.
It just needs like
it sort of has just unsatisfying colors. I guess would be they're muddy colors.
Yeah,
like the blog. Yeah. It's a good blog. And the arm it just sort of disappears.
Yeah. Otherwise, though, you can tell
you didn't put it in Nature's Pocket, which is good. Which Nature's Pocket is. Whenever you see, like, an anime person and they just have both of their arms, they look like some sort of hostage. Just, like, tied in their back. Yeah. It sort of looks like they're just sticking their arms in their butt cracks. Or their hands in their butt crack, which is Nature's Pocket. So it's not going in Nature's Pocket, which is good, but it is just sort of disappearing. Yeah. And more context to that and stuff. Like, you're going to have to draw it. You're going to have to draw that flamey arm.
Yeah, and also, don't be afraid to take references of yourself. Or ask someone else to, like, lay on the floor and literally take a reference of you in, like, a flower pot at Lowe's or something if you don't have a big flower pot. I'm serious. Like literally I just imagine what other people think.
I just imagine just, like, alright, random patron also at Lowe's. I need you to frame this just like this digital picture I have of this wolf and this masked troll dragon, and...
We'll just have someone pose for you, and then, like, or, just bring, like, a friend along, go to, like, I don't know if your mom or dad has, like, a giant flower pot. My mom has a big one. So, like, but, literally something like that. Don't be afraid to take reference pictures, because that is super helpful. Even if it's only, like, for basic things, like the general, like, pose. Also, SketchUp if you don't want to embarrass yourself at Lowe's.
I just sort of realized this flame comes up around here, but then I don't...
That's what I mean.
But then it's just coming out of the pot.
That's what I mean. I'm not sure if it's, like, coming out of the, like... that's why I wasn't sure if the, like, brown thing was supposed to be, like, shadow flame or something, or if it's, like, hidden behind, like, a cape, which I'm pretty sure isn't happening, but it looks kind of like a scarf or a cape.
I don't know. I would definitely clarify that whole area.
Yeah. If you like, can clarify that...
Because I thought it was a dragon, it was just fire all the way through, but I was literally just looking, I'm like, that's not what's happening at all.
Yeah, I would extrapolate. a little bit. So,
do you have anything else for this one?
No. I mean, you
didn't
can
really
tell
make this haha, but
yeah, no. I'm sorry, it's not aha. I mean,
well,
honestly,
some of the I don't want to say like some of the submissions are pretty fun. Like some people have submitted stuff where it's intentionally like really old artwork of theirs, and they get as much kick out of it as we will. And then some are like this, where like I would actually I want to critique and stuff on my work. Please tear it apart. Which this is, obviously this is a lot better than the stuff that we've been critiquing of our own work.
Yeah, like,
so we're not gonna be like,
super. Yeah, because it's not honestly like that bad. Like there's definitely room for improvement, but you know you can tell that you spent a lot of time. You have studied, you have done some things, but there are things that, of course, that can be improved. And we've talked about them. So
yep,
okay, so
cool. All right, well, this has been MiniFridge with Andrea Radek and
Kristen Plesko.
And if you guys would like your own stuff critiqued, either serious projects of yours that that we will not be able to find any sort of dirt on to laugh at, or if you have really old artwork that you want us to laugh at and just ridicule, both are welcome.
Yeah. We
also,
can ridicule. We're
feel free to submit those to FridgeArtPodcast@gmail.com. And definitely put if it's okay to say your name, if it's okay to link to you. If you have like really bad artwork that you really hate and you don't want us to say who it's from, we can keep it anonymous. We don't mind that. For this person, I did ask them beforehand if it was okay to say their name, and they were okay with it. So, but yeah, only send stuff that you're willing to really sort of throw into the fire and sacrifice.
Yeah.
Don't send us your stuff that like, I just finished this yesterday. Can you give me your opinion on it? Because that's not what this is for. We're here to thoroughly deconstruct and to be helpful. We're not here to kiss ass.
Yeah, we will not kiss your ass. Like,
which is good. I mean, it's better than a lot of people can sometimes do. But
the best critique is when people actually like.
My critique is everything is fine. Yeah, thanks for that.
Wow, like I don't know if anything can be improved, and it's like, God.
We used to get those in class and stuff all the time, and then I always had fun being the asshole. Like, actually, this face is backwards, and I'm surprised none of y'all said anything about it. And this part looks like shit. Why did you do this? And they're like, well, I used to, for my illustration class, I used to call people out on their bullshit. So they would submit something like really pretentious.
There's a lot of bullshit in illustration.
For some reason, a lot of my classmates and colleagues, they always like putting animal heads on like business suits.
Oh, God damn it!
And
I'm drinking coffee and I almost spit it out because that's literally all they do. There's always a class of people that are like, "Wow, you know what? I'm so hipster," and everyone is a beast.
For Nike. Bullshit, but.
That's fine.
He was a colossal dick as well. But
a lot of the successful artists I've met, like some of them are really nice, but then you always meet some really like dick ones, and you're like, come on! Like I didn't want to think you were a dick, but now I think you're a dick.
Yeah, when you guys all inevitably grow up and become really good artists, don't be a dick. You can be as talented as you fucking like. Nobody's gonna fucking like you if you're an asshole.
Yeah, it's okay to be honest, but don't be a pretentious douchebag because there are a lot of artists who are, and it is awful. Like
most of the time, that's sort of I find a lot of that is mostly sort of cold early on because a lot of the really pretentious people they face that failure. And then they just don't get up from it because they don't. The problem is
when they're kind of good, and then you're like, son of a bitch, that person wasn't torn down enough times to actually get a good attitude, and like I won't say names. I definitely will not say names because I don't want.
I know who we're thinking of.
I know people who know me probably know who I'm thinking of, but I ain't saying it. And this one particular person went to my school, and I had a lot of problems with the illustrators at this school, and I was about to transfer in, but the dean was really creepy. No, the dean was creepy as hell. Like, I was alone in his office, and he was showing me the thing, and he basically kept talking about how I could paint naked women. And it was the weirdest thing. And I'm like, no, I don't want to go into this illustration.
What's the name of the person who helps you plan out your classes? Counselor?
Advisor.
My advisor was a colossal asshole. And I went into college originally with a double major in creative writing and illustration. And she told me I was too stupid to do both of them. Her words.
Oh my God.
You're not going to be able to do both of these. They're pretty difficult classes. And I'm like, I've already done this for the previous class, or for previous
bags.
school. Yeah, no, she was tenured, so she was far past the point that she did not give a shit. And I think she eventually got fired for being a gigantic asshole. Yeah. But
I always had good experience. I had a good experience with my advisor, but that's normal.
I know, but I did it myself.
She split her cord a little bit.
I've been like running my thumbnail in between like sort of the fused parts of my headphone cords, and I just like split it open, and it scared me.
Just split it all the way to the bottom. Just ruin it.
Fun. But yeah, no. Basically, I had a class of people that there were a few that they were normal and they were good and they're still my friends and everything, and then there's just this pretentious douchebag, and there was one.
Always one.
No, it wasn't one. There was 4. They were all friends, and they were super cliquey, and they were also like crazy preppy.
The problem is you were in an illustrating class, so
you
of course
know
you'd have more.
that. Like, they weren't too bad, but they literally just, like, took photos of animals and photos of people in suits and then just sort of live traced over it.
That's the problem.
In Illustrator.
The one illustrator we had that was double majoring in graphic design was a complete asshat. And, like, his problem was he never finished anything. And the teachers knew it, and it's like, I know this person won't be successful because he literally never finishes anything.
Oh, yeah. And there was...
Yeah.
And I had this one guy...
He's just an asshat.
I had this one guy... he suddenly got really disenfranchised with illustration and drawing for other people. And he came in and he staged a protest, a freaky protest. He's like, why do I have to draw what they want? I'm like, that's what an illustrator is. Maybe you should go into being a fine artist.
Yeah.
I don't want to do this. And he just got like really fucking emo and mean. Like, he was a nice guy. And then all of a sudden his DeviantArt page was just pictures of him standing with like skeletons. He sort of became one of the people who are like, are you going to kill yourself? Is something going to happen here? Because you're
cut off your ear and send it to your girlfriend?
Yeah, you know. Really fucking weird at one point.
There are some people like that where you're like, oh, God, please don't do anything.
His thing is he drew these cartoons, and they had like these big pill eyes. They were sort of like Sonic, like the eyes are sort of joined, but he had these like pill eyes, and then it was like this cartoon was just him sarcastically remarking about the world and how much it doesn't like him.
God.
Like...
I'm just going to exhale really loudly.
It was extremely cringeworthy, but yeah, he was decent. All of a sudden he's like, I don't want to draw what other people want me to draw. And I'm like, then be a fucking fine artist.
Yeah, you don't have to.
Don't come in here with your bad attitude and, I hate drawing for other people. Well,
then
don't be a dick. Look at it in a different light, realize it's a collaboration, and then get some sort of,
Or just don't. If you don't like it,
don't do it.
If you guys find you don't like,
and then
drawing for other people, don't do it.
He dropped out of the program then.
Good.
Like, he took a year off, and then he was posting just really creepy things, and he had this series called Memento Mori, which is starting to become the most overused fucking thing in the world.
Yeah.
And it was just him, like, sort of sleeping around with this skeleton. And it was just like a big science skeleton I guess he had bought, or maybe it was like a Halloween decoration.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
But it's just like dramatic charcoal drawing of a skeleton sitting there. And another one where it's like caressing him in bed. And it was
Maybe I'm just an
weird.
asshole, but like I just think that's hilarious.
Yeah,
so
I'm gonna go on his page. I haven't been on his page in a while. I don't think I'll show you after we're done. But
okay.
Yeah, we don't have anything more for this. So much for this being short.
Yeah, we went off on tangents. Have a good attitude, otherwise people won't like you. That's pretty.
33.
There you go.
Don't be a dick. I like this image. I think it needs some tweaks and everything.
Yeah, it has potential though.
Yeah, it definitely does. It could be
as an
very
idea.
cool
I think it's fine. Yeah.
It has a lot of good potential, and definitely, just sort of fix sort of the weird tilting.
The perspective.
Yeah, the perspective. And
give context to what's happening with the flame, with the spooky brown thing in the background.
Yeah. I don't know what that is. Okay, but thank you, Cameron, and we'll link his stuff, obviously, in the description. Thank you for submitting your stuff, and we'll probably do one of your others, because they're pretty cool looking.
All right. Yeah.
So
have a good time.
Thanks for joining us. We're gonna try and put these out every Wednesday. Then, but if you want your stuff critiqued, go ahead and send it to us. Yep. If you want to include a story, we'll read it out loud, which is always fun. All right. Yeah. Bye bye.